Hello, hello, hello. The SBA announces the Eidl grant and loan deadlines. And so we're going to talk about that today and the importance for you as entrepreneurs and small business owners. Happy Cyber Monday. Welcome on in. This is She Boss Talk. I am Shantae R. Roddy. Do come in as always. Let us know who you are, where you're hailing from, what is your business. And if you have Cyber Monday deals, drop them in the comments. Let's go, okay? Because we've been shopping with small business owners all throughout the weekend. We had a fantastic Small Business Saturday event here in Cleveland, Ohio. It was amazing. And so we will continue to make sure that we're shopping with our small business owners, right? And as though we want those to shop with us, let's make sure that we are also shopping with all the other amazing small business peers that we have here at our arm's reach, whether they're local or virtual, online, e-commerce. There are many small business owners that have amazing products and services. And so I encourage everyone to shop with them because this is a major sales holiday for small businesses. So we want as many people shopping with small business. Make shopping small your first choice before you go elsewhere to a big box company, because usually there is an alternative small business solution. Okay, so shout out to all you small business owners. Before I get into the Eidl discussion, just want to let you know that we have our own specials that we have been running on our masterclass bundles. So if you're ready to build wealth, build legacy, scale your business, up your profit game before we go into the new year, take advantage of our masterclass bundles. We have our YouTube Creator Masterclass for all you watching on YouTube. You have a YouTube channel, but are you leveraging it to build your tribe and to generate multiple streams of passive income, right? So we don't have to work harder. We can work less and earn more. Those of you that are still going after those grants, if you need help, again, 25% off our Cyber Monday special. You'll see it scrolling across the screen. 25% off will help you understand how to apply for, how to qualify, and how to set yourself up to win more grants. And then those of you all that want to go after, get certified, go after those government contracts and government grants, we have the Certification Masterclass bundle that is going to help you get your business certified. So we have many business owners purchasing throughout the weekend. So we invite you to do that. That is our special gift for you during this holiday weekend. Okay, so now let's get right into it. If you have any Eidl questions, this is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program administered by the SBA. Drop them in the comments because this is all about the Eidl program, because the deadline is approaching. And I want to make sure you get all the information you need so that if you haven't applied and you're eligible, you can go ahead and apply. If you have applied and you've been denied, then you can appeal properly to get approved and funded. Okay, so we know this has been a very popular program. This program launched way back in the early days of COVID in March of 2020. It has a loan program and as well as a grant, which they refer to as an advance. Advance and grant are the same thing. It's free money for your business. Both the loan and the grant programs are excellent programs for small businesses. That's why you have over 30,000 small businesses applying to the program every single day. Okay, so let me start with just going through the information for you, letting you know that to be eligible for this program, your business must have started by January 31st of 2020. That means if you're a gig worker, you're an independent contractor, you're a self-employed, solopreneur, a 1099 worker, if you fall in any of those categories, if you're a small business, if you are a nonprofit, 500 employees or less, you can qualify for this program. They even expanded the nonprofits that are eligible for this program. So again, you may not have thought you qualify for this program, and you do. That means if you have 0 employees and it's only you can qualify for this particular program. because I get calls and emails and messages all the time from gig workers, Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, DoorDash workers, Instacart delivery service drivers. This program is available for you, and you may be able to qualify and get funded through this program. Thousands of small businesses have been able to do that, but the deadline is approaching. You only have until the end of this year. That is December 31st of 2021. Then this program will close to new applicants. Okay, so I have it on the screen. I'm just going to go through this really quickly for you. Then I'll go through giving you some updates on the statistics, where we are, and where we're going. Okay, what's next? So on November the 19th, they released this official statement. I had explained that the House Committee on Small Business met with Isabella Gunsman about the SBA programs, about the Eidl programs, and what's next even beyond Eidl. Definitely, if you missed that video that I did, go check it out. But this is a very popular and important program that has a targeted advance component of it. That means you can get up to $15,000 in grants, free money for your business, but you have to apply by December 31st. Okay, so as long as you apply by December 31st, you should be good. That means even if you're denied, you still have your appeal rights. You can continue to go through the appeal process. But if you haven't submitted your application by December 31st, then that means you're locked out. Okay, now as far as the advance grant, the $10,000, again, apply by December 31st. They will continue to process those into early 2022. If you don't apply for the supplemental targeted advance by December 10th and get it by December 31st, then that means you will lose out on the opportunity to get that grant. So the targeted advance is up to $10,000, or the balance if you received any portion of the grant that was made available in 2020. Okay. In order to qualify, you need to be in a low-income community, be able to demonstrate a 30% decrease in a quarter in 2020 compared to that same quarter in 2019. You need to also have 300 employees or less at the time that you are invited to apply. So you have to first apply for the loan program, the Eidl loan. Whether you get it approved or not, or accepted or not, the SBA sends you an invite via email. And it will say that they are inviting you to apply for the targeted Eidl advance cash grant, and this is your opportunity. So when they send you that, excuse me just a second, I'm getting phone calls as I'm speaking, so I do apologize. So but when they send you that invite, you're applying not only for the Eidl grant up to $10,000, but you're also applying for the supplemental grant of $5,000 at the same time. In the application, there will be a field that says, do you want to be considered for the targeted Eidl advance? And you're going to say the supplemental advance. You're going to say yes. You're going to click that button to say, yes, I want to be considered for the $5,000 grant. Okay, that is the only way that you will be considered for that grant, which means that can bring you to the total of $15,000 in free money for your business. But you have to do it by December the 10th, and you cannot roll it over to the new year. If you do not get approved and funded by the 31st, then you would miss out on that $5,000. You can still get the $10,000, but you're going to forfeit the $5,000. Okay, so we don't want to unnecessarily forfeit the $5,000 when you can get it. Okay, but you need to make sure you get your application in. And if you're going right now, if you're in the appeals process, you need to get it processed and get funded by the 31st. So even if you're under appeal because you were denied, you have to get funded, meaning money in your bank account by December the 31st. Or you forfeit that $5,000. Now, in order to get the $5,000, you need to have a more significant decrease in gross revenue. This gross revenue, gross receipts, gross sales is the same thing. Okay, so you need to have 50% loss, at least 50%, and you need to be in a low-income community, and you need to have 10 employees or less to qualify for the $5,000. And there's only $5 billion set aside for the supplemental grant. That means a maximum of 1 million businesses can qualify and get the supplemental grant. So that's important to know. Many of you all that, if you're just tuning in, I'll let you know that I am a recipient of both of the grants. I applied way back in 2020. I didn't get it. They ran out of money. And I continue to advocate, petition, along with many other small business owners and small business advocates to get this program back up and running. They established a new program, and I was able to apply and get approved. And my process went really quickly compared to a lot of those that are still in the process, trying to navigate and trying to get approved through the program. So my application went really smoothly, and I was able to get the full $15,000 in free money for my business. So I want as many of you all to be able to do that as well, because there's still billions and billions of dollars available. And I'll go again through some of the report that was released on November the 25th. That is important to see the data and see how quickly they're moving through the process and how many people are applying. Now, I know I had mentioned before in previous videos that one of the SBA reps had explained, or in writing to an applicant that was denied because they're not in a low-income community, that they would need to reapply to be able to get it, right? Or apply after they expanded it. They have yet to expand it. And so if you were denied based on low income and you received a letter, can you please let me know if they, in the letter, if what they said, did they say that they would be expanding it, that you would have to go through reconsideration, or that once they expanded that you would need to reapply? I need to know what your letters are saying, because in the last letter that I reviewed, they said that there would need to be a reapplication process, but we're down to the wire. I mean, I don't know when they're going to expand it if they're closing the program at the end of the year. And there's still many businesses that qualified back in 2020 that have been locked out for the simple reason is that they are not in, their business is not located in a low income community. Okay, so we're still advocating and petitioning for them to change that. So let me move on through this really quickly. So again, I just referenced the targeted advanced. They will accept applications to the 31st. Supplemental, they will accept through the 31st, but you have to get your applications in by the 10th and get funded to allow them adequate time to process your application, because they're not moving. They've implemented new processes, streamlined them. We're seeing a lot of that on the loan side, but I'm still seeing from some peers that is slow moving on the grant side. So you want to give them time to process your application. Borrowers can request increases up to their maximum eligible loan amount up to 2 years after your loan origination date. So for those of you that have gotten the loan, okay, they raised the cap to $2 million. Okay, they raised it to $500,000 and they raised it to $2 million. Every business's calculation or the amount of your max is different. So there's a formula for it depending on your business, and your structure can be found in the Eidl FAQs on the SBA website at sba.gov/Eidl, EIDL. But the basic calculation, the most used calculation, especially for Schedule C filers, is your 2019 gross revenue minus your cost of goods sold times 2. That would tell you what your maximum amount is. And if you have requested anything less than that max amount, know that you can request increases up to that max. Maybe you don't need all of it right now. You don't be afraid that because the deadline of December hits that you won't be able to request your increase. You'll be able to request it up to 2 years after your loan origination date, or until the funds are exhausted, whichever is sooner. So don't wait till the funds are exhausted, because we already know with these programs, and this program in particular, they've run out of funds more than one time. So you never want to wait. Get your money while you can. The SBA also will accept and review reconsideration and appeal requests for the COVID Eidl applications received on or before December 31st if the reconsideration and appeal is received within the timeframes in the regulation. This means 6 months from the date of decline for reconsideration and 30 days from the date of reconsideration decline for appeals. So that means you need to act quickly. If you were declined, and I talk to business owners every day that they were declined and did not go back to try to seek to appeal, to seek reconsideration or reevaluation. If it's the grant, that is the appeals process. So put your appeals in, because you have to meet the timeline. If you don't know the status or haven't checked in a while, call the SBA. The number on your documentation to see where you're at, and if you were denied, try to see if you can just go through the process for appeals. Okay, so then they go on further just to give more information to talk about the millions of businesses that have been served. More than 3.8 million businesses employing more than 20 million people have found financial relief through the SBA's Economic Injury Disaster Loan program. That is according to Patrick Kelly, an associate administrator for the SBA Office of Capital Access. That's one of the process improvements that they made with the Eidl loan, is that they moved the processes and the handling of loan applications to the Office of Capital Access, which meant that helped them to be able to clear out the backlog that they had of over 600,000 loan applications. They were able to quickly bring those up to date and get those processed. In September, Ms. Gunsman announced major enhancements that were made to the program. Just want to recap those. I already spoke of the increase of the cap to $2 million. This is because they know that many businesses still are in need of relief. There should have been $2 million back in 2020, but it took them until just recently, in September, to raise the cap to $2 million to give you access to it. They implemented the deferment payment period. That is one of the great things about this program, is that they've extended the period of deferment, which means you can get the loan now, but you will not need to have to start paying the loan back or start making those monthly payments until 2 years after your loan origination date. So you can get through the pandemic without having to worry about how to make ends meet. They also established that 30-day exclusivity window. They have since passed, just allowing 30 days for those loan applicants that were requesting under $500,000 to be able to get that. That period ended, and then those that were requesting loans or increases over $500,000 were able to get theirs processed. They also expanded the eligible uses of the funds. Okay, so we know that for this program, there are specific uses. There is a long list of business operations, because I still get these questions about what can they use this money for. It is definitely not for personal use, and these funds are definitely not for business expansion. These are recovery dollars or funds that are given to you to help build your business back up to where it was prior to COVID-19. Now, if that means that you experience growth, that's fine. But there are eligible expenses that you must consider and use the funds for. And they expanded that, which includes prepay of commercial debt and making payments on federal business debt. They also simplified the affiliation requirements. For most of my viewers, this wouldn't pertain to you. It pertains to maybe larger small businesses that have different affiliates in their business, and they simplified the process to align with the Restaurant Revitalization Fund program. And then on here, they're just giving you, again, directing you on where to apply if you haven't applied already. Again, reminding you eligible small businesses, nonprofit, and agricultural businesses can apply for the loan in all U.S. states and territories can apply. You can learn more about this program just going to the SBA website. They have it all there for you as well. SBA's customer service number is 1-833-853-5638. Okay, so that information is there as well. You should see their contact information on your email correspondence as well. The center's open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just make sure that you are contacting them during business hours. They are closed on the holiday. Okay. They also go on to talk about some of the additional fraud enhancements and things like that. I'm not going to really focus on that today because I've done previous videos on that. But the important thing to know is that there's still time for you all to be able to get access to this program, to be able to get funding for your business, whether it's the loan or the grant or the loan and the grant. Get whatever you can get, whatever monies you need to be able to fund your business. Please know that there are reasons that you may be stuck in the process that are not on the fault of the SBA. So it's important that you know where you are in the process. If you don't know where you are, it's important to pick up that phone and talk to a human representative. It's not just enough to email them. Call them. Find out what is in the notes. Because in 2020, it wasn't really working correctly. Things weren't being documented. Documents that were sent in were come up missing. We don't know where they are. So you may have to go back and find out where you are in the process, what documents they actually have, and see what you need to do to move your application forward. Just depending on where you are in the process. If you have not checked in, check in, but make sure that you're doing it at least once a week to find out what the status is on your application. Know that there's things that you can do to escalate, right? Ask to speak to a manager on your file. If that's not enough, reach out to call your local SBA district office and regional offices, right? They have different levels of the SBA. Your district office and regional offices should be able to provide you some support. It even says that in the FAQs, okay? So say that doesn't work, you do that. You need to also reach out to your Congress representative, okay? They know about the challenges with the Eidl program. They get many calls and emails from small business owners so that they are trying to get answers from the SBA. They will reach out to them on your behalf. You will need to sign a release form giving them that permission to speak with the SBA regarding your file to help you expedite it. I mean, if ever there was a time, it's now. Because you only have so much time. You only have a little bit of time left to get through the process, to get funded on your application. Okay. So again, that's for the supplemental grant and for new applicants that have not applied. If you're already in the process, then they will continue to process your application through 2022. Okay. Or until funds run out. But I know right now they still have over $100 billion. They have over $100 billion still available in the program, even with carving out portions of the monies from the loan and the grant program and applying it to the infrastructure bill that has now become law. There is still plenty of money available for you all to get access to this program. Okay. So again, if you have questions, if you are stuck in the process, if there's some document you need help with, let me know in the comments so I can try to assist you there. But again, this is an opportunity for you to get a loan up to $2 million or your max based on the calculation formula, and up to $15,000 in grant money for your business. And let me tell you, every week, really almost every other day, there's someone that saw my video, didn't know that they had a letter from the SBA in their email. I know small businesses, I get bombarded with emails, but I check my email every day. I not only check my inbox, I check my spam folders and my promotional folders. And all the time there's important information or opportunities that if I did not look there, I would miss them. And I was just speaking to a lady that is in urgent need of funding right before I got on this call. And I'm asking her about Eidl. I applied for it last year. She got the 10,000, but I said, what about the supplemental grant? She said, well, I didn't look. Okay. So you don't want to miss out on a grant just because you didn't look or you didn't think so. You have too many emails. It's easy to use your search bar and search SBA or search a Small Business Administration or search targeted Eidl advance and it will come up. Okay. So many people have done this, didn't realize they had an invitation to apply for a grant that has been sitting in their inbox or spam folder for 6 to 7 months. And the fortunate thing is that the SBA has sent out 3 to 4 or more reminders to you, which is fortunate for you, because if they had not, you would be locked out of the opportunity to get it, because there's a time activation on the button to apply that is in the email, and it reactivates every time that they send that reminder. So if you have not checked, if this is the first time you're hearing about a targeted Eidl advance that you could potentially qualify for, this is if you applied in 2020 or if you applied in 2021. You should have received an invite from the SBA. Now, if you deleted it, I tell small business owners, stop deleting your emails. Don't delete emails from the SBA, or even if you were declined. They're saying they did decline for something, then they just delete it. Why? Okay. So if you delete the invite, there is no other way to get it. You cannot call them. The representative cannot send you a new invitation. So the best thing that you can do is see if there's an invite in there and one of the reminders you didn't delete it. Because if you delete it, you deleted your chance to get up to $15,000, and there's nothing I can do about it. And there's nothing that the SBA can do about it. But some of the things you may be stuck on, we have videos, explainer videos on if you need help applying, we walk step by step. For the loan, step by step. For the grant, step by step on appeals process. We have videos on how to get unstuck. We have videos on the top denials that you need to know about. Eligibility requirements is a big one. Lacks of financial records or tax documentation to prove that you have a business, to prove that you were actually reporting your business and your business income on your taxes is huge. Because even if you had a business, if your taxes don't demonstrate that you had a business or you were making money in your business, then you will not qualify, okay? Because they're going to ask you for your 2019 and possibly your 2020 taxes. They're also going to ask you for a 4506T, as well as some other documents. Know that for those of you all applying for a loan over $500,000, more documents, it takes longer because there's more reviews that are necessary for those larger amounts. So that's why it's important to get on it quickly, and know that you're going to have multiple rounds of underwriters and attorney maybe reaching out to you to sign documents. For the grant, you will have a loan specialist. Once it's to the point where you're getting approved, they've reviewed your documents, they will call you and they will send you an email. You have only 7 days or however many days they tell you have to respond to them and to verify the information they're seeking to verify. If you do not respond to them within the period that they're asking, you're going to forfeit the grant. Okay? And they even tell you that in the email that they send you. That's very important. And so don't ignore those phone calls. Listen to your voicemail, because they will leave a voicemail. So even if you're one of those that don't answer all your calls, okay, whatever number you provided, that's where they're going to call you on that line. And they're going to leave a voicemail and let you know that they're the SBA, right? And that they're calling to verify your information. They will call to verify a lot of identity information, your they may have you send in your driver's license, your passport, or other types of documents. Whatever they ask you, you need to send it in. And in the time that they ask, I know when they did it for me, I had 7 days. It didn't take me 7 days. I dropped what I was doing and I did it. So it didn't take me 1 day. You have to make these things a priority, because you get distracted and forget, and next thing you know, you forfeited the grant unnecessarily, because you didn't mark your calendar. So either I'm doing it right then, or I'm marking my calendar to get it done by a specific deadline. But make sure that you're following up and following through on the processes. Okay, that is super important. Banking information is important as well. Please make sure you're going through the application thoroughly. Don't go through it super fast. Some of you all are clicking on fields that you shouldn't. You're saying yes to things you should say no to things that you should be saying yes to. And what that's going to do is it's going to delay your application and possibly cause a denial. So then once you're denied, now you have to go through the reconsideration or reevaluation. That's the appeal process to prove that you're not what you said, right? So if you accidentally said that you're not a U.S. citizen, now you got to prove that you are. If you accidentally said you're a ex-felon, and it hasn't been 5 years, now you got to prove that you're not a felon. If you accidentally said, that you owe child support and you don't, then you're going to have to submit documentation to show that you don't owe child support, or you're not in the rears of child support. Okay. Another thing to note is for the Eidl loan program, there are credit requirements, not for the grant. People get them confused. There's no credit requirement for the grant. You're not going to get declined the grant because you don't meet the credit requirements. Okay. That is only for the loan. And you have to have at least a 570 credit score to be approved for the Eidl loan. And if it's above 500,000, you need a 625. Okay. So how do you overcome this? It's not as simple as just submitting an appeal. What you need to do is raise your credit score. So determine where's your credit score and how many points do you need to raise it to meet the qualifications. Then raise it. Once it's raised, then you submit your appeal and say, okay, here is documentation that I now meet the credit requirements, right? And they will validate that as well, that you now meet the credit requirements to be approved for the loan. So it's important to know what the requirements are. It's important to know what are the eligibility requirements first, to see if you should even apply. And then any of these types of things you can definitely overcome. There's been many people that have been declined on credit and they were able to raise their credit and then appeal and then get approved for the program. Make sure that you have access to your portals. Every applicant has a portal. If you haven't, call into the loan specialist. Let them know that you need access to your portal if you have never gotten access to it, and they will help guide you on steps to take to get access to the portal. More information on that is in the FAQs as well on the SBA Eidl web page. Okay. So that's some important information for you. Now I'm going to share the recent report. So I'm going to share my screen one more time, and then I'm just going to go into asking questions. So again, any Eidl questions, this is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan and Grant Programs that are still available through December 31st. It's important that you act very quickly so that you can get the funding that you need. So let me make sure it's displaying the correct report, and we can go through it really quickly. All right, so it's sharing the wrong one. Let me make sure I share the right one. So that one was the announcement from the SBA regarding the deadline. What I'm trying to bring is the report. Okay, so here we go. There we go. This is the report. Ever so often, usually weekly, sometimes they get behind on when they release this report. But you can find this also. They have all reports on all of their different programs, all their COVID related programs. And this is one of them. So this is the SBA Disaster Assistance Update Nationwide Eidl Targeted Eidl Advance and Supplemental Targeted Advance Report as of November the 25th. So that was right before Thanksgiving. So they account for regionally. So you can see in your state how many businesses in your state have been approved and what dollar amount. So nationwide, over 3.8 million loans, EIDL loans have been approved for over $302 billion. $302 billion through this program, okay? And you will see, again, your state, my state is Ohio, so it's telling me right here in Ohio, a little bit over 87,000 small businesses have been approved for $6.4 billion in funding. Okay, and then they give a regional breakdown. I'm in region 5, as we can see here. So you can see what your region is doing, what your state is doing. You can even search, all of this is public record. So you or anyone else can search any business to find out what you received from the EIDL program. It is public information. It is not private. So that is the loan. And when we scroll down, you will see SBA Disaster Assistance Update. You don't have to worry if you can't read it. I'm speaking. So as long as you understand what I'm saying. The Targeted Advance Funded, this has been really slow moving. So this program, the Targeted Advances grants, started rolling out in February of this year. And the number has been in the 400,000s for a long time. So I was expecting that it would be in the millions at this point, at least at $1 million, but it hasn't. It hasn't even reached 500,000 yet. And I mean, I understand that there are several business owners that are outside the low income community, but there are many that are in the low income community. And I'm wondering, where are they at? Why haven't you all applied? So I need as many of you entrepreneurs, business owners, nonprofits, that if your business is in a low income community, you may be missing out on this program. So as of November 25th, 495,287 businesses have been funded for $4.3 billion. Okay, $4.3 billion. But let me put that in perspective for you. This program started with $30 billion. And we have not reached that. Then they carved out around $15 billion. So that means there's still tons of money left for this program. We haven't reached 500,000 businesses that have gotten the grant, and we haven't reached $5 billion yet. So there's still plenty of money. But again, you have a deadline of the 31st of December to apply. Okay. And please tell as many people as you know about this program, because I'm guarantee you know someone that has no clue that they may qualify for this program. Even those that were funded, especially those that are solopreneurs, gig workers, independent contractors. Those are the ones that aren't applying and don't know that they could qualify for this program. Now, again, it gives you that state breakdown and regional breakdowns as well. And then we're going to go down to the supplemental. Again, the supplemental grants, I said the maximum that they could give out is $5 billion. Right now, 398,586 businesses have been funded through this program. So you can see it's even lower than the targeted, because not everyone that received the targeted grant will get the supplemental grant, right? Because you have to have a more severe loss. They have funded $1.9 billion out of the 5. That means there's $3 billion still left in this program for you all to be able to get access to. And the reason that one of the reasons why they actually pull some of the money from these programs is because they considered it unallocated. But I don't agree with that. They should be doing more outreach to get the program funds to the businesses that need it the most, instead of snatching it and putting it towards another program. when it's clear that there's still a need, there's still need for more funding programs, because that was the topic of discussion with the House Small Business Committee with the SBA administrator. Okay, so these are the numbers. Let me know where you are. Have you applied for the Eidl program? Where are you? Did you apply for and get the loan? Have you gotten the grant? Are you in an appeal? Were you denied? Where are you in the process? So we can hopefully help move you forward in it. So right now, I'm just scrolling back up. I see a lot of you are out there, a lot of the comments. I'm just seeing if there's any pressing Eidl questions that you all may have here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for continuing to share. I just had a call today by someone that said their friend shared our video, not only shared our video, but copied all of the information in the description and in the show notes and sent it to them. So they had information so that they could get funding for their business, right? Not only this, but take advantage of other grants and other revenue-based funding programs that we have available for you. You can see all that information in the description as well. Okay, so how can you appeal for the grant? You will see in the show notes all the contact information. So understand, if you're appealing for the loan, it's one department. If you're appealing for the grant, it's another department. They have two distinct emails. Please make sure you know which one you are appealing to and appeal to the right place. Because I've spoken to so many business owners that are confused. They don't know what they're applying to. They don't know even what they're appealing to or where they are in the process. And then it's not until we get on a one-on-one that I'm able to see and evaluate all the documents and all the emails to clarify that they need to send what information they need to send to what department. Okay, you can't just send everything to one department and think it's going to go through. Know where you are sending the information, follow it through. We even have templates on our website for reconsiderations. You have to have a certain subject line. You need to make sure that you know and can reference your application number so that they know who you are, what applicant you are, and what information that they can correlate the information to the right application. That is so important when you're doing that. It's so many that still don't know what your loan number. You have a loan, but you got loan documents. You need to sign that. Your loan documents have your SBA loan number, but I still have people asking me what loan number, where? It's on your the loan documents that you signed, and you need to keep those as records. Okay, so that's how you appeal through email. You have to send it to the correct email. You also need to be able to clearly explain your rebuttal of the denial. You're going to speak specifically on the reason for the denial and why you feel it was incorrect decision, or what you have done to correct this issue on your end to make it where you should be approved now, right? So it's either the SBA made a mistake and said you were denied and you shouldn't have been, and so you need to provide information and documentation to support, or something like I said, a credit score, and you raised your credit score. Now you're submitting documentation to show that you now meet the eligibility requirements, right? So you have to know why you're denied. And again, I've had many people tell me they don't know why they're denied. The SBA they must, by law, tell you the reason for the denial and issue you a determination letter. In that determination letter, they state the reason for denial. Now, if the stated reason is unverified information, they have FAQs that tell you the top reasons for an unverified denial determination. It means that there's something either in your identity that they couldn't identify or verify, or there's something with your business or your business income that they were not able to verify, and you just need to submit that in order to move your application forward. So the best thing to do is go to that list in the FAQs and use it as a checklist. Okay, one reason is lack of bank information. Okay, let me double check my bank information that they gave me. Is it a legitimate bank account? Does my bank account accept SBA funds and funds in this large amount? And do they accept ACH wire transfers? All of those have to be true. Is my bank account, does the numbers match? Did I give them the correct account and routing numbers? Sometimes you don't. If it's off one digit, it will go to the wrong account. And either you're going to be denied, or they will try to deposit the funds. It will not, it will say it doesn't match, or sometimes your accounts have been closed by you or by your bank. Either way, you're not going to get the money. So then it's going to take you months to get that money if you didn't provide them with the right bank account. So you have to go through and check all of these things. Do I have that? Is that correct? Okay. Do I have verification? Do I have my tax returns? Did I submit that? Right? The proper 2019 to 2020 or whatever tax returns they were asking for. Did I submit that? Use what they're saying as a checklist and say, okay, I have that, I have that, I have that, I submitted that. And then submit whatever it is that was unverified, so that you can move forward with the process. Now, I know people that have had to appeal 2-3 times, or after the second time they got approved, or after the third time they got approved. But what will help you is knowing what to do, how to appeal the first time, so you don't have to go through it 4 times. Okay. So at some point they will say, this is the final decision. Okay. But even with that, there's another process that is like a secondary review I spoke about earlier on the SBA's decisions as well. So know that you have recourse and you have time to do it once you have your application in. But I know it's been challenging for everybody that's involved. But stay the course. Don't give up on the process. And while you're waiting, like I just again spoke to another lady, while you're waiting on SBA funding, know that there are other options available that you can fill in the gaps while you're waiting on this funding. So if you have a now opportunity, right? You need working capital now. Your employees need to be paid, or you've been working, you've been funding everything on your cash flow, or you have a partnership opportunity, or you want to buy a new, a building, or buy someone else out that went out of business. We've had a lot of that happen. Buying new equipment, buying new vehicles, getting a new vehicle repaired that broke down so you can continue to make money. That's when you need to leverage other sources of funding while you wait for the SBA funding. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Let's see. I'm trying to apply for Eidl, but I actually have been trying to get someone from the SBA to return my email, and they still haven't been trying. Again, I don't know. Have you applied? Are you trying to send them emails before you even apply? What email are you sending it to? Is it the correct email? Please triple check. That may be the reason why you're not getting a response, because you say you're trying to apply for, which insinuates that you haven't yet applied, which means if you're trying to contact any of those special emails for applicants, then you're not going to get a response till you submit an application. So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully I understood that comment. I was recently denied because I don't live in a poverty area. Okay. So there's no way around that until they expand it. And that's not to say that they won't create another program, a new Eidl pro. There's nothing to say that they won't. I personally think that they should have already expanded it before they close it, because there's millions of businesses that apply to the program. They don't qualify because they're not in a low income, and the business needs to be in a low income. Your business needs to be in a low income community, not your home, unless your home is your business location. If you're a home-based business, then yes, you're going to put your business address. You're going to use the map that's provided on the SBA website and put your address in there. And when you put your address in there, you will hover over it. It will tell you, yes, you're either in a low income community, or no, you're not. That's the best way to know, is to use their map. Now, if the map says yes and they say no, then you have that documentation that you can go back to them and say, you are denying me, said I wasn't in low income, and I am. Now, know this. This was not stated earlier on, but more recently, like in the last couple months, they're going based on where your business was located in 2019, at the end of 2019. So if you've relocated, they're going based on that address. Now, because of some inconsistencies, I would speak to the SBA. So if you were denied, I don't know that, okay, if you applied and your address was in a low income community, the address in 2019 or what you used, and then you qualify based on that. Or if you since moved, if that disqualifies you because you were at the time in a low income community. So yeah, so that's the low income community issue. But again, I still want to know, if you were denied in the letter, read down the letter. Did it say that you will need to reapply once the program is expanded? Let me know that. Okay, so someone else is saying they were denied based on low credit score. Depending on how low it is, would determine how quickly you can raise it. If you work with the right people, if you make some strategic moves, you can really bump up your credit score significantly in a short period of time. It has to be brick and mortar bank. Is it true? I'm not understanding what you're referring to. If you're asking for this program, do you have to be a brick and mortar business? The answer is no. I have a home-based business, and I received the grant, the Eidl grant. I'm back in reconsideration for the loan. I don't necessarily need the loan, but I think it may be useful because of the benefits, and I don't have to start paying it back for 2 years. Do you assist with filling out the paperwork? Yeah, so what I offer one-on-one consults. You'll find the information in the show notes and the description, and I will drop it also in the comments. So you have a booking link. So I do help with Eidl. So whether you need help applying or you need help getting past the denial process or appealing the denial, I do offer that service. Okay, someone else is saying it took her a little over 2 weeks for her targeted advance. Someone is asking, can you get it twice? No, people have asked me this many times. You cannot get a loan or a grant twice for the same business. However, what some people don't realize is if you have two businesses, and I mean two distinctly separate businesses with separate everything, separate business names, separate EIN, separate bank accounts, if you have that, you can apply for the program for each business. Now, if you are an independent contractor and say you working on 5 different contracts for 5 different companies, you're one business. And they clarified that in the SBA FAQs as well. You're one business if you're an independent contractor, not two. Hello to everyone that's out there. My increase was approved yesterday. When will you get the funds? It could be a few weeks. I can't give you that information. But I know it may take a few weeks. It could be like 10 business days, or it could be a little bit longer than that. But congratulations on getting approved. Someone is saying they only received $2,000. I don't know if that's $2,000 in grant or $2,000 in loan. Which one? Either way, with the new program, you again up to $15,000, and then for the loan, based on the increased cap up to the $500,000, that's where the actual calculation of the increase ends. So you can get up to 2 million max they using the same calculation as they did at the 500,000 level. But that actually changed the game for a lot of businesses because it increased how much you could qualify for. So either way, you can possibly qualify for more money. Can real estate investors I would check the FAQs because I know there's some stipulation on real estate. I do know real estate businesses that have gotten it, but there are some additional stipulations that I can't go through in this time. So I'll follow up on that, but be sure to check the FAQs to be sure. I need assistance applying. I shut my company down in 2020 due to COVID. I don't know what that means. When you say shut down, do you mean that you just weren't getting clients, or did you dissolve the business? They're two different things. Okay. So if you just weren't getting clients, getting sales, then you may still qualify. But if you dissolve the business, then you won't, because this is for active businesses or businesses that's still trying to move their business forward, still trying to make money in their business. So if you called it a wrap, this program is not for you. Loans below 25, any business can be audited at any time. Especially if it's suspected of fraud. Just assume at some point in any situation, not just this program, I always say this, even with your own personal taxes audits, just assume at some point in time you'll be audited. But as long as you have your records, your documentations, you should be good. You should never be fearful of an audit. I have a nonprofit, but already get it for my business I own. Can I apply? Yes, you can apply for your nonprofit if it qualifies. If it's eligible. Someone else has been waiting for weeks for their approval. So can I apply? Yes, I just answered that question. What did they ask? Oh, she's asking someone else. Okay, I found the address to be in low income. Okay, and you got the email. Get on it. Make sure you apply. Someone else is asking, has anyone else been denied? Oh, if you've been denied, you can call and ask for a supervisor. Yes, you can. Mimi Wilder, thank you so much for your super chat. How to show loss if bank statements don't reflect any money from your business? I did not file business taxes. Should I file for the targeted advance? That's the thing. This is for economic loss. And for that definition, you need to have made money in 2019. Like for the grant, for both, but let's just talk about the grant. If you didn't make money in 2000, any sales, not money, sales, business sales in 2019, there's no way to show that you had a loss in 2020, because you had to have made greater income revenue in 2019 than you did in 2020. If you cannot show that, then you would not qualify. I mean, so I'm not telling you not to apply. What I'm saying is that when you apply, they're gonna bring up a table where you have to populate all the sales you made in every single month in 2019, 2020, and 2021. Everything you made, even if it was zero, okay, whatever that is, and they're going to look at it. They're going to compare it. They're going to look at quarter. So like quarter 1, 2019, quarter 2. You made zero in 2019, but you made 5,000 in 2020. That means they don't see a loss and there. I mean, but maybe down in the quarters, second, third, or fourth, there may be somewhere where they can see a loss, but there has to be a loss. But if you made money, so say you made 10,000 in 2019 in quarter 1, and you made zero in quarter 2 of 2020, that definitely shows a significant loss, and so then you will qualify for the grant. I hope that makes sense. All right. But I would just apply and plug in the numbers and see what they come back with. The worst that can happen is they say no. What if we didn't file taxes yet in our nonprofit? Even though you don't file taxes, there's nonprofits do tax reporting. They do some type of reporting. This has come before, and so you need to know as a nonprofit what your responsibilities are and what filings that you need to make. So you do need to make filings, right? Know what those are. You should have a nonprofit accountant on your team or consulting with them, or a tax person. If you need referrals, you can always send us an email at hello@shebosstalk.com. but you have to have those taxes no matter if you are a solopreneur, small business, or non-profit. That is what they use to verify your business, your income, to do those comparisons, to verify that you're not a fraudulent or illegitimate business that's trying to get access to the program. That's why taxes are so important. I do know people that are amending their taxes for some reason or another. I know a lot of people that whoever does their taxes got it wrong, or now they can't find them. They're ghosts. They went ghosts. So you need to amend your taxes. Know that it still will take time to process even longer. The administrator even said that to the House committee. If you're filing an amendment, the IRS has already been slow processing the regular tax return. So don't think that because you're amending that's going to overnight be in the IRS's master file. It's going to take a while. And I think she said about 60 days or so. Okay, thank you so much for the super sticker. You're so welcome for the information that I'm giving. My denial letter for targeted stated that if I did not agree with the decision, I should send a full explanation. Exactly. And supporting documentation, depending on what the denial is. Someone else is saying anyone with a nonprofit can apply if you were running a business since 2019. Yeah, so that's true. So nonprofits, for-profits can all apply for this program. Gig workers can apply for this program. My reconsideration is showing that all documents waived, but they are requesting transcripts internally. Okay. Now, how long will it take them to get the transcripts? Okay. So I know they're moving that process a little bit more, right? The IRS is, filling the gap because they were way behind millions, like 24 million tax returns. But this was 2019. So hopefully those of you all that have been stuck because of those IRS transcripts are now getting those verified and being able to get approved. Okay, someone else is saying they took the max of their 2019 revenue. I'm told can't get any more than that. Well, that's it. It's the max. You can't get more than a max. But congratulations on what you did receive. So if you get confused about what you need, call them ASAP. Yes, definitely. Don't wait. Some of you are just waiting, and not taking action. You have to call immediately. Now, I've never personally had a problem getting through to the SBA, ever. Had a problem getting through to the SBA, getting someone on the line to have a conversation about my file. Okay, someone else is saying they gave up, kept calling. Don't give up. Know that there are other options out there as well. We have resources in the description and the show notes. I know it's been a frustrating process for many. I do know that, but if you can, keep pushing through. And I've already explained how to escalate. If you have not exhausted all measures that I have spoke about in this video, don't give up until you've exhausted all the measures. Is basically it comes down to how bad do you want it, or how bad do you need it? Is it worth it going the extra steps to get it? And for some of you, maybe not. Maybe you're doing good. You're good with your business. It really doesn't matter. I mean, I have peers that's like that, but others that really need it, then you need to keep pushing for it. Same question. How many days does it take to get funded after approved? It varies. It could be 10 days or more, or 30 days, right? I think now they're putting in your letters timeline. So please read your letters that they send you, whether it's a determination letter, it's a follow-up on appeal, or it's your approved letter. You should have dates in there at this point. I mean, I've actually seen them. It's so important to read your letters. Okay, someone else that said that they're giving up on their business. Should they try again using 2019? If you're in a low income community, you should have been using your 2019 taxes anyway. Someone is asking about how to appeal the grant. I went through that process already. You're going to email the appeal. The process is called request for reevaluation for the grant, and for the loan is called request for reconsideration. Oh, and also how long you get the funds. Someone else said this as well. Depends on your bank. Every bank is different too. So the SBA may deposit the funds, but when those funds are processed, are based on the bank as well. But it shouldn't be like too long. I mean, it should be days. It shouldn't be the SBA sent the money and the bank is just holding on to it for 30 days. That won't happen. I can tell you. Okay. All right. So there's a lot of questions here. So I will filter through these and then follow up is always in the comments after the broadcast. So also drop after this video is over, drop your questions in there and I will follow up because I want to make sure you all get through this. Do make sure also that you're applying for other grants out there as well, especially state grants, county grants, city grants. They have them in there. I just talked to someone right before this, and I asked them, "Where do you live?" California. One of my peers just got a grant in 5 minutes. She filled out a 5-minute application and got a $10,000 grant. California has some of the most grants and the biggest ones out of all the states. Please look in your local area. Start with our grant tracker tool. It's a free listing of grants with all the top grants on there. Do look at that. Use that as a starting point for your search for grants. But I'm telling you, there are many, many, many grants in your local areas that you all don't even know about. You probably don't know existed. Start looking in your local area. I mean, they have grants 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 or more, and other types of programs as well, tax credits. And other programs in your states. Do check those out. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Go make those sales. It's Cyber Monday. I hope you all got some amazing sales over the weekend. Drop your deals below. Let's check each other's deals out. Find something you like, buy it, right? At minimum, share it with someone else that you know may need it, okay? Continue to be the boss with amplified impact and continue to stay safe and good health. Have a wonderful day.